So,
But you know this shit's fire.
and we are back, Sonya. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back.
It's an absolute honor. But before we get into this, as everybody knows, this episode is sponsored by Next Level Financial. Take control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial analysis today. And I just want to talk about Bison real quick because we're both, the herd and all that good stuff. And Robert and Tasha and Carter and Edith are just absolutely amazing human beings. And I tell everybody this, Sonya, it's 2025. Treat yourself. Love yourself. Get that full custom suit that's tailored, designed, and measured specifically for your body. It makes a world of a difference. I always get it backwards on the camera, but you guys see mine in the background when you show up to the racetrack, or actually now, if you're over there in Europe, but when you watch Sonya on TV, all bisoned out, right? So big shout out to Bison. You guys can go to bisontrack.com, and it's super simple and easy to do, and join the herd.
I wish I had mine in the background. Man, we got to coordinate next time.
Well, we will 100%. This kind of got scheduled and rescheduled, and here we are, right? But it happens like that. It's not a big deal. But Sonya, it was good to see you at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, that was kind of a last minute deal. I wanted to go out and run the 2 hours, so flew back from overseas the day before, and yeah, it was great seeing you out there. That was a lot of fun. That was a cool day.
It was a great weekend. The weather was absolutely beautiful. Wasn't raining, so that's good for Atlanta. Usually when I show up, it's sunny one day and then just pouring the next day. But this weekend, after you left Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it was kind of iffy. It didn't really rain on Saturday at night when we left. Sunday was a mix, but it ended up holding out a little bit here and there. So yeah, it was a good weekend. It's always good to see you. And it was an honor. Hi, Mom. If you're listening or watching in the future, it was an honor to meet you too as well. I didn't get a chance to catch up with your pops. He was always, mid-conversation when I ran up on him. So, me, I don't like to just pop up in this, hey, what's up? I'm here,
Absolutely. He's a social butterfly at the racetrack. He loves everyone.
Yes,
but yeah, I want to get my mom to come out to more, so keep hyping her up.
I will. Mama, you need to come to all of them. You need to fly out to Europe and, experience that. I've been over there once to Cadwell Park in Louth. I've never, been where you are. So it's exciting. But before we get into your whole WEC, you're an absolute legend, Sonya. I'm so proud of obviously where you come from and how you got raised and the whole motorcycle thing. Moto America, now WEC FIM world champion. I mean, that sounds good, don't it?
Doesn't sound bad.
Right? So I just want to pick it up where we left off last time. You were still in Moto America. So let's just talk about, that season in 2024 and how all this WEC and all this come together.
Yeah, so I think we spoke after the second or third race of Twins Cup, and the season kind of took off from there. Had a lot of fun, a lot of ups and downs. But we got a few top 10 finishes, which was kind of our goal for the season. So just kept growing throughout the year. I got up to even 7th position in the last race. So yeah, just a lot of growth. Had a fantastic year with Chuck Giacchetto, Giacomoto, Yamaha Racing. The whole team was incredible, and the bike was something else. So yeah, that was a fantastic year last year. And they completely set me up for this European season. And, I think I'm the most prepared I could have been. I don't know if you can fully prepare for such an endeavor like this, but they definitely, it's going to be a hard year to beat last year. So.
Oh, 100%. You did absolutely amazing last year. Of course, I watched all the races on. If I wasn't there, I was watching it on TV. Absolutely amazing. The whole team looked good, and you also had Dominique Doyle as a teammate too, which is an absolute legend. And I'm sure you learned a lot from him too, as well as he learned a lot from you.
Yeah, he was a fantastic teammate, and he's been doing really well this year. So I've been watching all the races. Very excited to see the team do well. It's been awesome.
Yeah, Chuck. It was funny. I went to where was that? Was that Atlanta for the Moto? Yeah, Atlanta Moto America races. My buddy's like, we left. It was Friday, Saturday. He's like, hey man, I got this little bar pub place that opened. I want to go check it out. So we go in there, and guess who's sitting there? Chuck, right? So I snuck up on him, just sat down beside him, looked at him. I was like, damn, dude, they'll just let anybody in here, won't they? And then, yeah, we just hugged and started laughing and doing this. So, yeah, he's absolutely
awesome.
amazing. He is. He's he's really down to earth, really friendly. And one thing I really like about him, he's eye contact, and he's really in conversation. You know, it's there's a lot to being said to being present at the moment for sure.
Yeah, it makes a big difference as a team owner. He definitely killed the game. I've been handling a lot of our team decisions, team deals this year, and man, I don't know how he did it so smoothly. So that and building the bikes and getting them there, man, he does everything.
It's a lot of work. People don't realize the work it takes to run a team and then do. I'm sure he's got help with the whole traveling side, but it's still a lot. I mean, it really is. And always on the phone or emailing. Yeah, we got Sonya Lloyd coming to WEC. Let's go. Right. All that good stuff. I love it. So how did that make you feel when you actually signed that contract, I guess, to go to WEC?
It was awesome. You know, so I had an Italian team reach out and they wanted to bring me on board and kind of help me out just with my rookie year in the championship. So I think that definitely helped my application to the series. So once I found out I definitely got in, it was very exciting and all the planning got started. And I think from November till March was just, I don't even remember it. I think I blacked out just trying to put everything together for this year. Definitely a full-time job for sure.
Oh, I bet, Sonya. Just tell me the experience of, packing up, going to Europe for the first round, first time there, meeting the team, learning the tracks, all that good stuff. Because that's a lot to take in. Here in America, you know everybody, you know the tracks. Well, a lot of the tracks anyway. And you go over there, it's different atmosphere. I just made up a new word on the podcast, right? Run us through that whole journey for you.
Yeah, it's been definitely a bit of a mental struggle. I haven't quite experienced something like this before. So that's been a huge part of learning through these weekends is just trying to get over those cultural barriers that you might not expect with communication, with how people work, with how people perform. Being your own travel agent, going overseas to some small towns in Europe. And, it's definitely been a bit crazy. I'm finally at the point of the season where I have the rest of the year booked out with travel. I kind of understand how to get gear bags over there and that you really want to take direct flights because gear bags can get lost and, all the little things that you wouldn't quite think of. They definitely take up your headspace. So as a racer, it's been a little hard to kind of shut off planning mode while I'm there and just kind of lock into what the job is. So definitely working on that. We've got some things set up now so I don't have to quite take on so much responsibility on the weekends and just kind of show up and walk away from the bike when it's getting worked on and come back and everything's ready. So definitely gotten to the point of the season where a lot of the bugs are we've gone through them and they're out of the way. But it was crazy at first.
Totally. I can see where that would definitely be overwhelming, right? Like being at the truck, you're like, man, I got to book my next flight still. Like I hadn't had the opportunity. I got to do this, the hotel, the rent a car. I mean, it's a lot to take on as you're sitting on the bike, getting ready to go out and prepare for battle. It's what a journey, you've had an absolute proper mega career so far and you're in Europe, you're on the world stage. I mean, that's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And it's definitely world level. Like the girls there are no joke. The racing is so intense and I've just learned so much. So I can't stop smiling. I've absolutely loved this season. It's been the craziest challenge, the craziest adventure. So I'm excited we still have more trips,
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Let's talk about the first round. First time you showed up, obviously you show up, you meet the team, right? You get a little familiarized, and then it's out there. What was the first track you girls went to? I forget. I'm trying to think.
We went to Assen in the Netherlands.
That's right. Yes, and listen, that is a historical track in itself. Assen is an absolute. I love playing it on the PlayStation for sure. It's a good flowing track. It's seems really fast. Obviously, I've never been there, but it's a fast track, ain't it?
Yeah, and on these R7s, it's pretty much wide open in most places. So it's really just seeing who can keep it wide open through a lot of these turns, which was a lot of fun. And it was really cool because a lot of the girls hadn't been there before. I think 4 or 5 of them maybe had. So it was definitely the most level playing field that it was going to be for the season, which was cool. The best place to kind of figure out some quirks and get over those hurdles, you know?
100%. And it also helps that we got our good friend Mallory Dobbs from America, right? Big shout out to her. That's, you have a friend there, and which helps a lot. It helps the mental side of things, I'm sure, probably the most, because you got somebody you relate to. Obviously, we're Americans. We come from Moto America, right? So what part has she played into your role into all this season so far?
Yeah, she's actually been much more of a help than I think she realizes. Just kind of having her there, like last year, just watching her on the world stage, she kind of became a bit of an idol in my mind. I really believed in what she was doing, and I thought, all the struggle she went through, you could tell she kept a smile on her face. She was getting through it and learning. She's killing it this year. So, yeah, just kind of talking to her and um, really understanding what she went through last year now and getting her advice on things and just kind of having somebody to talk to about it has been really cool. I wish she was a little closer. I wish she lived on the East Coast, but she's kind of opposite side of the country, unfortunately.
Yes,
But
she is. Yes, she is. It's I can see where that would be a tremendous help because it makes you feel like kind of home, kind of at home a little bit,
absolutely.
to have her there. And Aston again, what a track. Grow up watching people race at Aston. It's absolutely amazing. And then of course the culture, as you said earlier, is completely different. The language, the food is different, right? What's the best thing you've eaten so far?
There's this fantastic pizza place by the Cremona track. Oh my gosh. Yeah, just fresh, real food. It's been fantastic. I always thought traveling, it'd be so hard to kind of eat food and still feel healthy and like an athlete, but anything over there is fantastic. So it's
I,
been a lot easier than I expected food wise.
yeah, it is. When I went to the UK, my favorite thing I had was proper fish and chips. It was so good. And the mushy peas, oh my God, they're so good. Anyway, and then I noticed, of course, social media, you and your dad, all these posts, Paris and Milan and all these cool places you got to travel to. Tell me that experience.
Yeah, I've definitely made sure to make the most out of what we're doing. So if we're kind of stopping by a city or going through a city, I try to carve out some time. So we got a chance to go test at Magnacore and Donington after this last round in Cremona. So we had a day in between. So we drove up through Le Mans and we got to see the track and spend a day in Paris and then see London a little bit. So just try to make the most out of it. He hasn't really traveled throughout Europe like this, so it's been really cool experiencing it all together and just kind of having a travel buddy. It's definitely been huge.
100%. I went out there all by myself. My wife didn't go, my son didn't go. I was like, PSB, here I come. And honestly, I thought that I would feel homesick. Like, man, I'd feel like after a couple of days, I'm like, I'm ready to go home, right? It was the total opposite. I felt nothing but home, which is really weird to me. Just going to a new place, especially across seas, I can't just be like, okay, I call Uber or get in my car and drive home, right? It's like I'm kind of far from home right now. As they say, across the pond, right?
Very easy at racetracks. It's all the same kind of family feeling. So I definitely get that.
So, I've never been to a FIM World Superbike race. How's the atmosphere and the fans and all that compared to Moto America? I always call it our beautiful circus, and I assume it's basically almost the same. But what I've realized when I went to BSB, it is the same, but it's also different. It's a different energy. It's a different smells, right? Just everything together. It's just completely different. So, what's that like for you?
It's definitely an aspect that I wasn't really thinking about when I first went over. So the Friday of our first weekend in Assen, there were probably thousands of children there. It's like every school in the country just went on a field trip to Assen for the World Superbike race. And all of them had the little hats on, the red hats from World Superbike, and they all had pens. and they were just screaming at you for signatures. And it was unlike anything I've ever experienced. If that doesn't make you feel like a superstar, I don't know what does. But so that was really cool. That was on the first day. And so I was like, wow, this is a big deal here. This is huge. This is not really like the American culture at racetracks. And for the rest of the weekend, I didn't totally realize, how big the crowd had gotten. But on the cool down lap of the first race, I kind of looked up in the stands and it was completely full. I mean, there was, I think they said between 50 and 60,000 people there, maybe. It was packed. So definitely really cool experience. The paddock was packed. Everybody was super nice. They brought me little Stroop waffles. They actually gave me like their country's dessert, which was really cool. So that whole side of it has been really neat. Meeting the different people from these different cultures and just kind of connecting with them has been cool.
100%. I know what you mean. That's one thing with BSB too, Sonya. It was like absolutely packed with people everywhere, all the hillsides, the stands, everything. I'm like, man, this is unfortunate to say nothing like Moto America, right? Like it's we get 5,000, 10,000 people at the most sometimes at some of the races. At least that's what it feels like, because some of the races are so big, the racetracks, right? And I assume Aston's probably pretty freaking big too. Now that I think about it. So after the first race of the year, you did, I forget what place you got. What place did you get?
Back in 18th.
Yeah.
Straight.
Did you find it difficult to show up and actually adapt to the European track? And the R7s, from my understanding, is basically stock with a couple upgrades to it.
Yes, very basic, very stock suspension and everything. That's honestly, the tracks haven't been the biggest hurdle for me. It's been kind of figuring out this bike. It's very different from Chuck's bike. It's about 40 less horsepower and just completely stock. So figuring out the new tires with the new bike, I haven't quite been pushing the limits as much as I want to. And I don't know if it's quite a mental block that I'm having with it, but now that I kind of have a practice bike and I've gotten more time on the bike, I've been pushing harder. And I think that's really where I'm just losing a ton of time. It's about a 10th every corner, but it's very uniform throughout the track. So just these girls are pushing hard and I'm just going to be pushing harder for the rest of the year. So just figuring out this bike has been honestly the most difficult part, I think, for me.
Well, yeah, I could see that, especially coming from a bike that had 40 more horsepower. You probably called Chuck and was like, dude, would they put a 400 motor in this thing? Like, well, what's going on? I come out the corner, I do this, and it's just like, are we going yet? What are we doing here, right? And then the whole, so you're not allowed to, like, change the geometry or anything on them. It's just basic stuff you're allowed to do.
Yeah, there's pretty much nothing you can do. I mean, you can change the rear shock about, I think there's like a 20-pound range. So I'm on the heaviest one actually right now, just trying to get the geometry of the bike to be where I want it. But there's like 4 sprockets you can pick from. You can change the oil level in the front forks, but you can't change the springs. Like it's very basic. Yes. We get rear sets though, and that's nice.
And I got some clip-ons, and a couple little button things. Yeah, it's like
no buttons. No buttons.
Okay. I don't even get those, right? Yeah, that's awesome. She said I don't get no buttons.
What? Does she know about the new shirts that are coming?
No, nobody knows about shirts coming, Rossi.
Can I tell them what color they are?
Yeah, I got them just for you.
Guess what, guys? Wait, are they going to be able to be sold, or just us? We're going to have them.
No, I got a couple to sell too.
All right, are you going to put them on the Clothing King?
No, it'll just be here for America. Won't be overseas.
So we have these shirts.
Here, you want to put these on, Rossi?
Normally these are blue or pink. We're getting purple.
Wow.
Bunny made out of Legos and she's rubber bands. I gotta go.
My boy. I love him. He's so awesome. So he's been on me with the, I got the blue and the pink. And he's like, Daddy, you got to do purple. So I'm going to get 10 shirts made. I sent him a text message of the shirts, and he's been absolutely. That's all he's been talking about. Is the purple shirts, Dad? This is this. And then the Lego gun. He's big into obviously Lego, so he makes all these guns that actually work. Which is it. You just seen the rubber bands, right? I'm like, he'll come around the corner and just.
He's dangerous.
So, yeah, he's absolutely a lot of fun. He keeps me on my toes 110%. So yeah, for sure.
That's so awesome. I love how excited he is.
Yeah, he made, this is Kayla Yakov's butterfly knife he made for, and when I went to Road Atlanta for the MA round, after she gave me a hug, she looked at me, she says, where's my butterfly knife? I said, I left it at home. I'm so sorry, I'll bring it back. She's like, she didn't give me a hard time, but yeah. So yeah, he makes stuff. So I'll get him to make you something too, Sonya. He likes doing
Absolutely,
that.
Please.
Yeah, I will 110%. So, you know, speaking back of the R7, I didn't realize they were so stock. Which do you think that levels the playing field, or do you
Absolutely.
think it caters to certain riders more?
I think this is definitely a racer's class. It's definitely about you as an individual, and it just brings out more of the emphasis on technique and being able to ride around things. So like the girls up front, them backing it in and everything, like you don't really realize what kind of bike they're doing that on. But yeah, that's the same bike you would take out of a box and go ride on the street for everybody who rides R7s.
Just a rear shock and some rear sets on it and you're good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely wear an airbag suit, you know. But yeah, it's very impressive what the front girls can do in those last 3.5, 4 seconds that I'm trying to make up to get to them is a tough 3.5, 4 seconds. So yeah, it's just a lot of technique, and I think that's where Mallory's really leaned into, it seems, is, you know, she's figured out the bike, she's figured out cutting down those little things as a rider that you can do to be a better rider. So, you know, just going straight from brake to gas, not having that time in between, just kind of perfecting your craft. So I'm having a blast with it. I'm learning so much. It's
I love it, Sonya.
There's so many things to fix.
Listen, the energy and the smiles, every time we talk about it, you just light up the room. It's absolutely amazing, you know, because there's so much still to learn that obviously you're going to learn throughout the season. You know, the team, how's the atmosphere in the garage? You and the team, everybody like super chill, super laid back?
Yeah, no, it's been totally fine. It's definitely a different culture, a little bit of a culture shock with the fully Italian team, but we figured out Google Translate, and we're, you know, we've got the hand signals down. They communicate with the series very well because most of the series only speaks Italian or Spanish. So it's definitely been nice having that translator piece as well with the series. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
I'm laughing because I use the translator at work because I work with Guatemalans and some Puerto Rican people, and they barely speak any English. So I'm always like, hang on one second.
Yeah.
Boom. And they're like, boom, we're doing that all day, right? We're like, yeah. So it's, thank God for that, right? Otherwise, I'd be absolutely lost. I'd be like, okay to everything. Sure, why not?
Yeah, exactly. And that's something we kind of struggled with at first, is we would be too nice to each other. So we would just nod and say yes on both sides. And then things would get lost in communication. And it's, yeah, you definitely have to use Google Translate. I'm learning a few phrases, so we're going to figure it out for the rest of the year.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to get to a couple of these comments real quick. We got Brennan Triplett up in the house. What is up? Good evening, everyone. How you doing, Brennan? And of course, we got the legend, Lucy Blondell. Sonya, you're such a badass. Ain't she, though? She really is. And of course, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We got a good friend, Tate. Right back at you, homie. Absolutely. Which brings us to 64-degree racing. Anybody need a proper two-piece undersuit? It's my favorite two-piece undersuit. I have the honor. I got 2 custom 64-degree racing undersuits, and they're absolutely my favorite. Sonya was obviously wearing hers. Yes.
I wear the 2-piece for race weekends, and I got some 1-pieces for training. So, yeah, they've been awesome. And they're compression socks. Don't sleep on those. Those are awesome.
I won't. I don't have the compression socks. I'm gonna have to get me a set and wear them. I'm funny though. I got to wear all white. I can't wear any color dyes. Otherwise, my feet just profusely sweat, and it's just uncomfortable.
Really?
Thanks, Mom. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Yeah, I just it's got to be white socks. That's it. That's all I can wear. So,
well, the ones I have are dark, but maybe there's white.
maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll get a special pair in just white. I don't know, but yeah, I feel you on that. So listen, everybody, 64degreeracing.com. Sign up. Go get your 2-piece undersuit or get it custom. They're absolutely amazing. And you know, Sonya, I tell my friends this. They're like, you know, they're whatever. I'm like, dude, the Under Armour and the Nike is not the same thing. I'm sorry, but it's absolutely just two different worlds, right? I get it, what you're trying to do, but it's not the same. Well, I'm having a hard time right now. You know what I mean? It's really not. So it's what I try to tell people, man. Just get one, try it on, take it out, wear it, and you'll be like, yeah, absolute game changer. So
yeah, get your name put on it, number. It's awesome.
Yeah. If mine was close by, I'd show you. I got it hanging up. So, but yeah, I love mine. I show it to everybody comes over to check out this 2-piece on their suit. And they're like, oh my God, I think it's so badass. Tate said, that's interesting, Chris. I'll look into that. Dude, let's go, bro. Yeah, you got to make white ones, man. Because it's not, yeah, dude, Tate, dude, he is so awesome. Sonya is an amazing ambassador. Absolutely, she is. She's just amazing. And her mom, Tate, have you met her mom yet? She is absolutely awesome too. So yeah, let's go. So, you know, your next round is because you're flying back next week, right?
Beginning of July. So our next round's Donington, the second weekend of July.
Donington's a proper track.
Yes, it definitely is. I had one full day on it, and it was fantastic. And the GR Motorsports team had me out. So, yeah, I love the English. They've been great.
They're awesome. So in my mind, I played Donington so many times. You come down the straightaway, it goes to the right, and it goes back to the right. And then as you start going back down the hill, it starts coming down, and then it goes hard brake, maybe 1 or 2 downshifts, and it goes to the right, and you go underneath the underpass, if I'm not mistaken, right? And it goes left, and then straightens up a little bit, and then it goes right, kind of like coming out of Savelli at Magello, where it goes right up that hill. Donington's kind of got that same field corner, right? I'm right on that, right? Yes.
Yep, and they're not numbers, they're all names, all the corners. So yes. That was definitely funny. That was cool. Yeah.
So are you excited?
It gets light on these bikes, and you're just pinned. So it's definitely tricky. They had a few crashes last year. We're going to avoid that. But yeah, the line here makes a big difference. So it's great to see it before the race weekend.
Oh, 100%. Now, did you have the opportunity to actually go to a track and do a track day before you girls actually show up and race, the ones that's never been there? Or is it just you show up on the weekend, you know where you're going, and it's get some PS5 time in or something and try to learn the track, or YouTube, obviously?
Yeah, so, well, the plan for this year was kind of just to show up. I have iRacing, so some of the tracks are on there, but actually most of the tracks we go to are not on there. So after I kind of found that out, testing became a bigger subject of my financial planning for the year and travel planning. So we did make time to go to Magna-Core and Donington. So overall, we'll have been to 4 of the 6 tracks before going there for race weekends. So yeah, that's been a huge, huge help. But unfortunately, Balaton in Hungary and then Assen, we don't get to before. So, but at least we'll have a few days or a day on the track before, just kind of know if we're going left or right. 100%. We only get a 20-minute practice and then a 20-minute qualifying. So it's very important.
So it's super hooligan-esque time frame, right? You don't get a whole lot of practice. You don't get a whole lot of track time. It's show up and let's go. Basically, it's so time schedule. So let me ask you this: the time scheduling between the FIM World Champion versus Moto America, are they similar in the way they work?
Not really. So that's also been an adjustment. The practice, you get 1 practice and 1 qualifying, and it's both on the first day. and they're about 3 hours apart. So you don't really have a night to kind of sleep on what you just learned on the track. And you really got to go full out from the beginning. So, yeah, and then the next morning's just a warm up and then the race and then another warm up in the race. So the hardest part for me has definitely been qualifying well. We've started close to the back at the first 2 rounds. So just getting that jump into turn 1 has been tough. I think at about position 15, turn 1 just kind of stops because it gets so clumped up because everybody spreads out and just dives in. So I definitely lose the pack in front of me during that. So that's definitely a piece I need to work on, is kind of putting myself in a better position for turn 1 on the race. Because as soon as these girls get away from you and the draft is so important, it's so hard to catch that next group. So that's about where I'm at, is I'm finishing in the front of the back group. So as soon as I can kind of get to that next group, then you can pick them off, then you can race with them and cut down your lap times even more. So yeah, I need to qualify better.
Listen, Sonya, you'll be there before you know it. Not only will you be qualifying better, you'll be on that top box. What are you talking about? You'll be there, Sonya, 100%. You know, it's going to happen. Y'all heard it here first. It's absolutely going to happen. One thing I do notice that watching, you know, the European racers, you know, Spain, Italy, blah, 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 is that a lot of them, they're so quick right off the gate. And that's one of their main advantages. It's like from lap 1, they're at lap record pace, right, or close to it. And it's hard for, you know, the other ones, because sometimes everybody's different. Some people, it takes them a minute to get up to the speed. And once they do, they're devastatingly fast. And I think that's one advantage that they have. Is they're just so quick right out the gate, and it's a mind bend for the other riders in the back too. They're like, how they do that so good, and how they so quick right out the box. You know, one thing I do want to ask you too is Dunlop, Pirelli. The feeling's obviously completely different. Makes the bike feel, you're like, this is not the same R7 that I remember. Nowhere near even close.
Yeah, it's definitely very different. I think both are very good race tires. It has been interesting. You do feel more movement on the Pirellis, but that's just kind of you having more traction. And I've been working with Mark, who's from Florida. He's with Pirelli, and he has kind of been explaining to me a little bit about the intricacies of the Pirellis and what to expect and what to feel and how hard you can push them. So the front tires that we're using on these bikes now, you want to put a ton of load into them, helps the bike turn. So just little things that you really need to know on these tires. But yes, the movement was kind of hard to get used to at first, especially when you're going over rumble strips with it. But now it's awesome.
What is this? What is this?
Yeah, you can get so much lean angle on these bikes, which is something I'm also working on, is just kind of keeping that trust and letting myself hang off even more. So, but they can do it, and it's been awesome, and they last fantastically throughout the entire race. And I wish we had 40 lap races on them, because I think they would make it, and it'd be great till the end. So.
And you got the perfect person in your corner, Mark 10. Big shout out to Mark 10 Motorsports. He's an absolutely amazing human being, and I've had several conversations with him. He is very knowledgeable, especially when it comes to tires in general. But he's a Pirelli guy, so I always liked Pirellis. I always loved the way they feel. You're right. It's a tire that you got to load up more because it's a softer carcass, and then when you load them up, you find that it actually grips better and it helps you turn. You're like, this is kind of a little foreign, right? But that's coming from one tire manufacturer to the other. They all got their little quirks to them, you know. Dunlop, Pirelli, and now Pirelli. Once they announced, I was like, dude, Pirelli will be in MotoGP in the next couple of years, and here we go, right? 2026, Pirelli's going to be in MotoGP, especially once Moto3, Moto2 win. I was like, it's game over, right?
Yeah, that'll be super interesting. I'm excited for that.
Me too. You know, and you being out there in Europe, being, you know, around Johnny Ray and Top, have you had a chance to talk to Top Rack yet?
Briefly at the end of last year in my wild card round when he won the championship. I was in the box in Garrett Gerloff's box, so I got to see the whole stoppie and the celebration and say congrats. But no, I haven't gotten to talk to him yet. But I have seen Garrett at all the rounds, and he's been super nice and helpful. And Tim Robinson has been at 2 of the 3 rounds, so he's kind of taken me under his wing. He helps out Garrett, and yeah, so they've been great. It's also awesome having them there. Feels like home.
100%. Garrett's another one. He's an absolute legend, right? I mean,
Mhm.
he's doing fairly good on that Kawasaki this year.
Yeah, I know they've been struggling a ton, but he's got a great mindset about it, and they're pushing, and they're just getting better, which is awesome.
Same with you. You're just pushing. You're getting better. A lot of, I think, going over there, Sonya, coming from a known motorcycle, known family here in the paddock here in America, going overseas definitely it's all right here. But I think Mallory, perfect example, right? First season, kind of like you. Second season, she's killing it, right? Same thing. I know the tracks. I know the tires. I know how to load it. I know how to push. I know what to expect. And that's a huge advantage to somebody coming in that, is green like me, and you going in there like, what is this about? What? And everybody's talking different language. I'm like, I just want to raise my hand, right? Like, I got a question.
Yeah, you can't wait till last minute to ask your questions because nobody will understand you. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been 100% mental for me so far, and I've been very cautious on all aspects of what I've been doing over there. So now it's time to kind of light the fire and start pushing more.
Pull the plug out and let's go. Let's wing. All right, so, are you excited for your next round?
Oh, I'm super excited. Yeah, we've got about a month, so just working on my routines and getting out there on my practice bike and working with some new people, and yeah, just kind of getting that mindset in the right place. Gonna handle
100%.
all the paperwork before, not even gonna think about it for a month, and just get the mind ready.
She's like, matter of fact, when this podcast goes, I got a couple more things I got to do, and then it's done for the rest. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And then, so, you got a month off, Sonya. So what are you going to be doing training wise? What tracks you going to be hitting up, if any?
Yeah, I'm going to be going to Little Tally this weekend, actually, working with Brian Stokes. He's going to come out and kind of push me around a little bit, and we're gonna push some limits, hopefully crash a little bit and kind of learn where those limits are on a smaller track. And gonna do some work with N2, going out to some of their track days, and hopefully the Heron compound. Gonna take my little bike out there. So, and got a lot of parking lot drills that we're gonna be doing. So,
Love it.
yeah.
That's what they do out there a lot too, is parking lot drills, figure eights, and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I've collected a lot of notes on that. So I'm excited to kind of start that training, which I haven't done yet. So
100%. And then you said Brian Stokes. I mean, he's an absolute legend. What a fan. I was a huge fan of Brian's growing up. Such the nicest. And I actually got to meet him in Atlanta. I was standing there at a Takayama Hall talking to Dustin Corner, big shout out. We're sitting there talking, and all of a sudden I feel this tap on my shoulder, and I turn around. I didn't realize he was so tall. Right? Because I ain't seen him in a long time. I was little when I seen him. Well, not little, but he's just a tall guy, and I forgot how tall he was. And I look up, I'm like, bro, what is up? Right? Yeah. So you got a lot of, listen, you got a lot of people that believe in you. Your parents, obviously, you got a lot of friends, me, Mallory, Brian, so many people believe in you that are cheering for you. And you're absolutely murdering out there. Even though I know you want to do better, it's a learning year. You will get there. You're going to get fast. Every time you go out, you get faster. Your lap time's dropping. So that's what you want, is progression, right? But it's also that, how do I take the next step? Let me ask you this. Showing up to the world stage, was you a little intimidated by racing with Anna Carrasco and all those really fast Tara, Ralph, and all of them? I hope I said her last name right. I'm not good with saying names sometimes. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I mean, 3 years ago, I had my head buried so deep in flat track racing that I never kept up with road racing. I was never an interest really of mine. I was so flat track focused. That's all I wanted to do. That's all I loved watching. And then when I got into Build Train Race 2 years ago, that's kind of when I really got obsessed with the road race world. So I didn't really grow up like a lot of these girls watching Maria and Anna. Seeing everything they've accomplished now, it's definitely, I look up to them, and they've been really sweet and really nice at the racetrack and actually really helpful, which has kind of taken away a little bit of that intimidation factor. It's not really frightening racing with them. It's more of, they're going to go by you, and then you can follow them and learn, and then you can even go talk to them. So it's just been super cool, if anything. Not super intimidating or scary or whatnot. It's just, I believe I'm meant to be there, so I'm excited to learn from them and get up to their level and hopefully kind of surpass them as well. So we'll see. It's gonna take time, but this is my 3rd year, and hopefully we're just still exponentially growing.
Absolutely, you are. Absolutely, you are, Sonya. Again, I'm a big advocate for flat track racing. I tell everybody it's probably the best way to train. I just, it's just because the front's constantly sliding, the rear's well, you don't have no front brake, right? So you're more like this, not like this. You learn that fine line of crashing, not crashing, right? And then when you get to the road race world on the tarmac, when you start getting fast enough and pushing, you feel the front when it goes and the rear when it goes, and you naturally know how to correct it and pretty much walk that fine line. Flat track, is that something you still do today?
We haven't so much this year. Last year, we definitely did a lot of it. I've got some on the calendar for this year, so we're definitely going to get out to some tracks, but it's getting a little hot in Georgia, so sometimes the flat track slows down a bit in the summer. But definitely later in the year, we'll get out and do a bit more. And I've been watching some of the girls flat tracking over in Europe, so that might have to be a little extension of a trip maybe, and stay and do some training, but we'll see. It's on the bucket list. So,
I went and hung out at Daytona with Sammy Halbert. Big shout out to Sammy. What a legend, right? That track was just small and it's insane. I remember I had one of the best times of my life watching that flat track race Friday and Saturday. I was just on the fence. I was like, whoa. And they're coming by and they're like literally this close to the fence. I tell the story all the time because you can see how hype I get by it. It blew my mind, Sonya. I'm like, holy cow. And I'll never forget, it was me and Cody. Cody's dad actually built a bike for Sammy. Cody did some of the ignition for blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we're standing there, and directly across from us is a start line. So we're coming out of the second corner, right there on that little straight, going into 3. And this one guy comes out the corner, Sonya. I forget the guy's number, 78, maybe 70 something, maybe. Anyway, he get left, and all of a sudden I don't know what he did, hit a rock, whatever. Next thing I know, his front and rear wheel come completely off the ground, and he never lets off the throttle. I mean, the whole bah, 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 and he just hits, and it just goes, and just and literally comes out so wide. I was like, oh my God, he's gonna hit the fence. You gotta let go, Simcoe. My other side's going, don't let go, keep rocking, right? So I'm like, yes, let's go. And I felt him. Like, that's how close he got. And I was just like, that was one of the most amazing things I have ever seen in my entire life. It was just like, I'm gonna die for this, straight up. Like, I'm not. It was absolutely just insane. And you growing up in the flat track world, going overseas, racing some flat track over UK would be absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah. And flat track has saved me from so many crashes learning how to ride these road race bikes. I actually crashed after Super Pole at Cremona this last round because I came out of the last turn on the rumble strips and got this massive head shake on the bike. And I've had so many head shakes on flat track bikes. So I just knew, let go, what to do with your body, just how to feel it out, let it kind of settle, trust the chaos almost, and saved the bike, kept going past the finish line. But unfortunately, on flat track bikes, you don't have front brakes. So I didn't realize on road race bikes, when you get such a massive head shake, it can actually shake your front brake pads apart. And then you have to repump up your brakes. Never been in that situation before. Didn't know that. Flat track, you just lay it over in the next corner again. So I went into turn 2 without brakes and thought I just had brake fade. Was pumping up the brakes too hard, and it just locked the front and put me down. But these are things you learn, and flat track saves you from one crazy crash, and then you learn when you actually do crash. But I've learned so many lessons so far this year about
I love it. You're like, Tate, dude, bro, listen, I need some more undersuits, man. Let me tell you what happened, right? Like, I need a couple more pair for
There's a
sure.
few holes, yeah.
Yeah, that I can imagine in that moment though, that was kind of scary because you're thinking you got brakes and you go, oh shit, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And then you do that so much you don't realize, you're also building pressure, and all of a sudden the brake pads go and you go,
Yep. Yeah, it
it's
was
game
crazy
over.
crash. Absolutely. But we're learning this year, and it won't happen to me again. So next head
Listen,
shake, I'm pumping the brakes up.
right. Pumping the brakes as it's okay. Remember, pump brakes, pump brake, pump. You need to put a little sticker right there on the thing. Pump brakes, pump brakes.
Yeah. No more head shakes. We'll just stay away from those.
Do you, you guys have a steering stabilizer on those?
No, we don't. And that's been something I've actually been working on, is trying to get the series to approve them. I put one on during our official test, and they told me to take it off. So luckily it was just at the test and there was no penalties. But yeah, working on it. I think it would be huge for the series. A lot of the girls are pretty small, and your body is the biggest damper on a bike. So especially in flat track, all the smaller riders, you just have to have them. Or you get massive head shakes all the time. So working on it. Hopefully soon. We'll see.
Well, yeah, on the flat track, right? You're constantly
Going over
the whole
bumps.
time. You're just riding it. Yeah, it's fucking mule. I was like, dude, this is absolute. Yeah, I loved it. It was incredible. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Sonya, you are an absolute legend, my friend. Again, you are going to do so many proper mega things in this sport, and I'm proud to call you a friend and to see your whole journey. It's absolutely amazing what you achieved so far. Everything else is going to come. You know that. Like you said it, you are exactly where you belong. And the reason why you're there, because you're fast and you're meant to be there.
I really appreciate it. The support from home has been so huge, especially when you're over there and you're feeling kind of alone, just kind of seeing the comments from everybody and just, being able to chat with you guys, all the friends back at the tracks here. It's really been huge. So I really appreciate all the support.
Listen, it's an absolute honor. How's the club going?
Good. Yep. I got some hats made, some shirts. My shirt you could actually find on the Bison website in the Herd collection. So that's my official shirt for the year. So it's been cool. I'm new to designing merch, but we're getting there, and I think they came out really cool. So yeah, I've got the Sonya Speed Club going. So got some behind the scenes content getting sent out and race reports, and just trying to keep everybody as updated as possible. It's hard to watch races that are at 5 a.m. your time, 4 a.m. your time. So yeah, definitely join the club if you want to get some behind the scenes content and see what's going on from the ground.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. It's and what going over there, was a time difference a big deal for you with jet lag, and did that affect you too as well?
Honestly, not too bad. The flight over there from Atlanta is always overnight. So as long as you can go to sleep on the plane, you kind of wake up in the right time zone, and then you're locked in. So the time change has not been bad at all. We've been lucky.
Yeah, I remember my buddy who was like, "Dude, you're gonna sleep for like 2 days." And I was like, "I don't think so. Like, I'm an energy guy anyway. Like, I don't see that happening." So I did like you. I slept on the plane. I got there. It was overnight. I think I arrived at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. in the morning. So I'm like, I was wide awake, right? And I'm like, yes, let's go. I'm actually in London. Are you kidding me right now? And I remember going, the little thing, you got to scan your passport, and the light turns green and lets you go. I kept scanning my passport, and it keeps going red. I'm like, uh-oh, what'd I do? Am I doing something wrong? And they called me over, and the guy's like, what's the reason for your trip? I'm like, bro, BSB. And he's looking at me like, what do you mean BSB? I'm like, bro, you live in the UK. How don't you know what BSB is? Right? Like, I thought everybody knew. He's like, no, I'm like, Bennett's British Superbikes, baby. I'm going to Cadwell Park. He's like, okay, see ya. I was like, yes, let's go.
That is too funny. Yeah, it is surprising. In England, there didn't seem to be a huge fan base, but they say Donington Park is always one of their biggest races for World Superbike, spectator-wise. So that's interesting. Well, you taught him something. Now he knows.
It's what I said. It was like, so when we go to Atlanta, I was telling my buddy, I said, one thing that I feel like in our sport here in America is that I'm not saying we don't do a lot of advertisement. I just think we could do better as a sport, right? Meaning we left Atlanta, um, went to, it was like literally 10 minutes down the road to a pizza place. It's kind of like Blaze Pizza. I don't know if you guys got Blaze Pizza down there. It's kind of like Blaze Pizza. You go in there, you kind of create your own little flat pizzas, and they put it in a little wood fire oven, and you get it. And I'm sitting there talking, and I got my pink shirt on, right? And the guy looks at me, he says, "How was fishing today?" And I kind of turn around like this, like, me? I was like, "No, bro, we're here for the Superbike race." And he's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "See, this is the issue. We got people that live 10 minutes from the track. They don't even know Moto America is here at all, right?"
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but you go there in Europe, man, when the race event's getting ready to happen within a month, I mean, it's everywhere. It's in the grocery store, well, the supermarkets. I think supermarket. It's everywhere. You see it all the time. You see it on TV. You see it in
Yeah.
commercials.
There's billboards everywhere.
Everywhere. You drive down Atlanta, it's literally a billboard. There's two of them, and they're about 50 yards from the entrance to the racetrack. Right?
Yeah, and it's a little frightening if you don't know what an event is going to be like to kind of just show up. So the marketing's really important for sure. And I think Moto America is working on it, but
They are.
it's definitely something hard to sell in America as well. I feel like motorcycles kind of come with a bit of a bad connotation sometimes, and you don't know what racing's going to be like. So I've definitely had to learn how to explain motorcycle racing to people here when you're looking for support and for bringing companies on board. So it's definitely hard to explain, and kind of, you really have to show, you have to show video, show photos, show marketing. So yeah, I understand Moto America's struggle. I do, but
for sure, right?
The more people they can get out, the more people will come back, because it is amazing to watch.
I'm sure people look at you like, "What do you mean you race motorcycles?" You're like, "What do you mean? What do I mean that I race motorcycles?" Like, I'm confused right here with the question. You can't answer a question with a question. What are we doing here?
Try not to get angry when they ask you what motorcycle racing is. Yeah.
Hold up. Sit down. How much time do we got? Just sit down. Let me. First video I'd show him is the Isle of Man TT. Here, sit down, watch this.
Oh boy.
Which is going on, by the way. Sonya, have you been watching any of the TT action? So big. You see, I got my Davey Todd, my Peter Hickman shirt on. Let's go.
No, I haven't been watching any of the qualifying, but I'm going to watch the race for sure. The big final. What is that, this weekend? No,
it's Fortnite. This is the first week, and then okay. Next week too as well. Have you been to the TT, you or your dad, yet?
No, but I would love to.
Yeah, me too.
That's also on the list.
Would you ride the TT?
Absolutely not. No.
Not even for a parade lap?
Well, parade lap, sure, but actually probably not. I think I would start pushing, and that would get bad. So
you'd be like, "Dad, we're doing the TT next year."
We actually have one girl from France who has done it, I believe, quite a bit, and has won some of the classes. She's badass, fantastic, very intense and fast. So I don't know if that's quite for me. I don't like gravel. I don't like curves. So I prefer the rumble strips. We'll cover that first.
I got you. I feel you. Kevin Grimmel says, "Love seeing you at RA cheering for you." Absolutely.
I love Kevin. He was a great help this winter. Let me actually come and stay and ride, and it was awesome.
Yeah, he sent me a Free Hugs sweatshirt, and I didn't realize he had put my name on the back of it. And I put it on, and my wife's like, "Oh, that's cool. That sweatshirt's got your name on it." And I'm looking, I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's my buddy Kevin sent me this. She's like, "Yeah, it says Simca right on the back." I was like, "Wait, what? Really?" Yeah, I took it off. Yeah, he was there with Andrew Way, which did absolutely amazing this weekend. So yeah, it's Moto America's Road America coming up soon.
Yes.
This weekend, right? Is it this weekend? Yeah, it is this weekend. Man, where's the time gone? We're in June now. Like, this is crazy. This is absolutely
2025.
It just seems like last weekend I seen you at Daytona.
Yep.
walking through, I was like, wait a minute, there's what's up, Sonya? Are you following me around to all these racetracks? What's going on now? It's awesome. It was an honor to see you there.
Just in case someone needed a rider for the 200, had to be there.
Ready. I love it. Have you raced the 200?
No, I have not, but that's also on the list.
We got to get you out there.
Hopefully soon. We'll see.
Yeah, we got to get you out there. So, you speaking of riding at a couple tracks here coming up, are you going to do? You're not coming to VRR at all, right? You're going to stay in Atlanta, Georgia. You're going to go down to Florida.
Yeah, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina kind of area, Alabama.
So NCM, Barber,
CMP, yeah.
BMP, yeah.
Jennings. Well, Jennings is closed now for the summer, but
there's
same. It's kind of my main track right now, so it's a little sad. It's okay. It does get hot down here, so I understand.
It does. It was gorgeous weather when I was down there. I'm coming back down there October. I forget what date it is. I've never been to the damn it, I'm gonna mess this up. The Pan American. Yes, road with the Porsches and the Ferraris and all that cool stuff. I've never seen that, so I'm excited to go to ATL and watch that. My son, he loves Ferraris and Lambos. I'm like, yeah, 2 wheels, forget that, right? But he wants to go. Obviously, I want to go. I've never seen. Have you been, the Petit Le Mans? That's it.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Yes. We're going. It's October. I'll check the. I will check the dates, and yeah, I heard it's a lot of fun. So
yeah, definitely let me know. I'm not a huge 4-wheel fan, but maybe for a week we'll see.
I'm not really. So across the street from Atlanta, we went and watched where they sideways, what do we call it? Drifting. There it is. See, I'm not in with 2 wheels, right? Which was kind of cool to see in real life, and all that. But then it got real smoky, and I wear contacts. My eyes started burning. I'm like, yeah, can we go now? I'm not really. This is kind of cool. Let's go back across the street. That's where I want to be, right? Let's go back to the 2 wheels. More comfortable there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a different group of people, But those are definitely cool. I think it might be an offshoot of Caffeine and Octane that does that, maybe. I don't know. They have drift nights there, but it's pretty cool. It's fun to see once,
Been there and done that. A bucket list. I'm not a bucket list, but I feel like it obviously as we get younger in life, the more experiences you kind of want to have, right? Even if it's something you're not interested in, check it out. You never know. It might become a fan. Like I used to watch Formula One all the time, like motorcycle racing, then got kind of it's not so cool. And then of course Netflix come out with that series, and I was all in again. I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever besides road racing, right? And then you watch it, you're like, it's all right, Netflix
it's crazy how having someone to root for really changes watching sports. It
does.
It is interesting when you kind of know who you're watching behind a helmet. Yeah.
No, 100%. So Lando Norris is my dude, and of course Hamilton, right? Who don't love Hamilton? He's an absolute goat at Formula One. So yeah, it's
MotoGP needs to come out with a series, or maybe World Superbike.
You know what? I honestly, I would love to see them all come out with a series like that. Netflix MotoGP did. I forget what it was called because it was absolute garbage. It was like one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. When it first come out, it was in a different language. So you had Valentino Rossi talking with like this French accent, and I was like, wait a minute. Absolutely not, right? Like, what are we doing here? And just the way that they put the whole production together, they wasn't really telling a story like they did with the Formula One, where they took, Lewis Hamilton, and it was a thing about him, and, everybody in the paddock, right? They had their own little journey and took you inside, and you got to know the do's and the ins and outs and all that good stuff. Wasn't nothing like that. It was so horrible. I didn't even finish watching it, and that's a lot to say from this guy right here. I was like, you know what? This is done.
Well, now they have a platform and they understand what people like. So I hope they try again. I haven't seen that though. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I'll find it for you now. I'll drop you the link. I'll definitely text you the link. It was they actually went back and changed it to where it's American, right? Everybody's talking and but it's It was absolutely weird when they did that. I'm like, well, what are they doing? You know. Anyway, enough of that. Sonya, it's 2025 WEC FIM World Champion sitting right here, all across the computer screen from me. Let's go. You, my friend, is an absolute legend.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a huge production, so I'm just glad it's all coming out relatively smooth. I wasn't sure, there were some holes in my plan, so yeah, no, it's been a leap of faith, and we're making it through. So I'm excited. Yeah, the rest of the year should be pretty exciting. I mean, the races have been crazy to watch. So if anybody hasn't seen them, go check them out on the YouTube World WCR. It's awesome. You can watch all of them back. Those top battles are crazy, and they're happening in the back too. You're just not seeing them on the camera, but yeah, they're all over.
I love it. It's and you can actually go to download the World Superbike app, and I forget what the script. I think it's like $80. I think it's equivalent to the Moto America app price wise. I think, which I will say this, it's a lot better app than the Moto America app. There's been a lot of complaints on the Moto America app, like freezing up and all that good stuff. But hey, they do an absolutely amazing job. Their YouTube series is really good too, as well. So
yes, yeah,
and
yeah.
you
Our
have
races are free to watch though. Our races
they are
they're
yes.
trying to promote the class, so yeah.
Why is that?
Just because it's so new, they want to kind of hook people, get them in, really show them how good the racing is, and I mean, tons of places are saying that we have some of the best two-wheel racing in the world right now in our class. So those top battles are something to watch. So yeah, it's getting a ton of viewership. So enjoy it while it lasts. I have a feeling they're going to put a price tag on it next year.
You are. I don't know why I kept saying WEC. It's WCR. I had it in my brain. I don't know. I'm just dysfunctional. I'm a little bit loopy.
The acronyms are crazy. They don't even make sense.
They don't. It's like okay, but yeah, it's So and you got 3 rounds left after Donington, so there's 4 rounds left of the season.
Yes. Yep.
And the season ends for you girls in October, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the end of October.
Yes. So we go to Donington in the UK, Balaton in Hungary, Magny-Cours in France, and then Jerez in Spain in October. So
Jerez, what a track, right?
Man, it's awesome.
I bet. So what track are you looking forward the most getting to?
Definitely looking forward to Jerez. That's because I've raced there before last year for my wild card. I just love the facility and the town it's in, and I love Spain. So I'm definitely excited for that one, especially because we'll have 3 more races under our belt. So we'll be up in the battle a bit more. So
Absolutely. Well, Sonya, listen, this has been an absolute honor. We're an hour into this. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go eat me some dinner. And honestly, I almost texted you because I thought I was gonna be late to this podcast because I had physical therapy at 5 in the traffic. I was like, come on, people, let's go. I got somewhere to be. So I literally got home, changed. Wife was making tacos. I said, I gotta eat. I mean, after the podcast, I gotta sit down with Sonya and then do this podcast. I changed, and yeah, here we go. So I almost texted him. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be a few minutes late.
Man, well, I appreciate it. It's always great talking to you.
Listen, Sonya, it's an absolute honor to get you back in the hot seat on the podcast. Just stay on with me for a minute. We're going to go ahead and schedule our next one. Before I let Sonya in this podcast, I just got to say thank you to everyone. And I say it all the time, for all the love and support. If it wasn't for Sonya and all my friends sitting down with me, I would not be able to do this. And with everybody listening to as well. If you had not a chance, please hit that ding, 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 right? I feel weird saying that. Like when I first started saying that song, I'm like, man, you know how weird this sounds, but it does help me out a whole lot. I noticed that when I go back and I look at my analytics, which is not a whole lot, man, there's so many views, but not a lot of those bells, right? So it helps me out a lot. I just want to say thank you to everybody again. I love every single one of you guys and girls. It's an absolute honor. That's the best way I can describe it. So thank you so much. Before I turn the microphone solely to Sonya, Next Level Financial, bisontrack.com, Chef Eats, TST Industries, theclothingkings.co.uk. Everyone can go to this website right here, right now, and get all your Pin to Gas merch out there. Everybody's asking me where my soft shell jacket come from. That's exactly where it come from. And my beanie hats too. Everybody's like, I want a beanie hat. There you go. theclothingkings.co.uk, and you can order yours, right? Big shout out to SFL Mini GP. Everybody go to miniusasbk.com and sign up. Their program is absolutely amazing. And you don't need there's no excuses, Sonya. So you could show up. You don't need a bike, you don't need boots, you don't need leather, you don't need a jacket, you don't need a protector, you don't need none of that. They provide it all. You just register, show up, you have the most fun ever in the world. Big shout out to RD Racing out there in the UK, Vet2 Track for all my veterans. So if anybody out there that's a veteran that wants to get with my buddy Jim Whitman, his whole program, he takes you to the race. His whole motto is curing PTSD one lap at a time. It's an absolutely amazing program. So if I have any veterans out there, hit me up or go to vet2track.com, sign up, go have fun. Big shout out again to 64 Degree Racing. Absolutely proper mega 2-piece undersuits. He makes 1-piece too, but I recommend the 2 because I got Bison, so I do have a 1-piece Bison suit that I really like. But I'm more of a 2-piece guy. I do flop between. I guess it's a mood thing too as well, right? You're like, I feel like a 1-piece today. And I want a 2-piece on, so whatever. But anyway, 64degreeracing.com. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. And with saying that too, I got another friend, Aliki, Venom. You guys can go to venomsport.com too and check out her undersuits. They're absolutely amazing. She sent me Jonas Foggers, which I'll show you after the video. His actual MotoGP. Yeah, it's crazy. And he signed it. I was like, oh, mind blown. Thank you, Aliki. You are absolutely amazing. I need everybody to go to roadracingworld.com and sign up and donate to the air fence. Sign up. Donate to the air fence. It's imperative that we have the air fences because guess what? If we didn't have the air fences, and a big shout out to all the corner marshal guys and girls out there in the ambulance, Sonya's not going racing. We're not going to track days, and I'm not going to hang out with everybody on the weekend, right? So go to roadracingworld.com. It's $5, $10, whatever. It all helps. And if you're lucky, you show up to Moto America. Ulrich has got his 2-seater. I think it's $350. You get to take one of the best rides in your life. Forget King's Dominion. Forget all that. That's the ride you want to take, right? Absolutely. I mean, it's going to cost $350 to go to King's Dominion. You might as well blow it in 3 laps and have the best adrenaline rush you ever had. Besides skydiving, I will say. You need to try skydiving, Sonya.
I have. I think road racing is more exciting. Not going to lie.
That's how I come over my fair heights, but that initial jump, like just letting go, was so much of a mental thing. Man, I felt so free after that. It was absolutely amazing. Big shout out to STG, Brian Van and Max Van. Big shout out to every woman in BTR. Everybody knows I'm a huge fan of Build Train Race. Absolutely amazing program. I mean, look right here, right here in front of us, right here. This legend right here. That's exactly where she come from. So yes, and there's many other out there. But big shout out to BTR, KYT helmets, K-Tech suspension, Ghetto Customs for all your custom body work. I got 3 friends that make custom graphics, dripping wet, REB graphics, and GRG. You're not going to go wrong by ordering from any one of them 3. Big shout out to Woodcraft, Mark 10 Motorsports, Free Hugs Racing, and Nicole Polich Photography. That's a lot.
Chris, you have more sponsors than I do.
Sonya, tell everybody where they can find you. Listen, all I can say, it's an absolute honor. It's an honor.
No, that's awesome. You got some great ones out there. Mark 10 has been a huge help for me as well. 64 Degree, Bison, they've all been awesome. Arai has been fantastic to me this year. Yamaha USA, can't thank them enough. They've been huge in my program. And just everybody else who's kind of sent kind words and kind thoughts and been supportive. So definitely check out all my sponsors on SonyaLloydRacing.com and go follow me on Instagram, Sonya.b.lloyd. I'm trying to post a ton so everybody can stay as updated as possible. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some fun stuff coming out soon. So definitely stay tuned. But
in the fan club, tell everybody where they can sign up and join the fan club.
Yep, the Sonya Speed Club you can find on my website, SonyaLloydRacing.com. And yeah, definitely go check it out. I've got some fun hats, pins, stickers, merch, and stuff. Just try to get everybody kind of rallied up and, just love the support. So absolutely.
And listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you happen to be in Europe and you're going to the next round at Donington, please stop by. Say hello to Sonya. Say hello to Mallory. Get those pictures. Get the autographs. Trust me, it means the world to them. It really does. You know, fans, being a fan of the sport too for so long, I never realized how much it meant to a rider when people approach them and say, "Oh man, this is awesome. You're so absolute legend. You're proper mega all this. Can I get a picture? Can I get an autograph?" And the feeling that you have, and it's reciprocating, right? And the smiles that go on your face, and it makes your day, right? It's absolutely, especially when you see all the little girls like, "Ah, Sonya, let's go!" Ah.
And seeing Americans over there is always so awesome. I've met people from Florida, from Virginia, from everywhere. So that's definitely been really, really cool for me. Absolutely. And if anybody from America is going overseas to watch any of these races, please reach out to me as well on Instagram. I would love to, bring you guys behind the scenes, get you to come out to more races and see what's going on. So
I love it. I love it, Sonya. Well, listen. Oh, Mallory Dobbs just popped in. What is up, Mallory? You missed the show, but that's okay because you can go right back to YouTube and rewatch it, or tomorrow it'll be out everywhere. So, Mallory was just talking about you, and yeah. So,
yeah, we'll have to do a double podcast sometime.
I would love. Yes, that's a great idea. Get you and Mallory. You know what? Let's do that at the end of the year. Let's get you and her down together. We'll do a group chat on messing, I'll text message, all that stuff. We'll definitely sort that out. That would be awesome because it's her second year, it's your first year, same championship overseas, all that good stuff. So before I get off here and I end this, what advice would you give to all the upcoming lady racers in the world that see you do it and they have, I can never do that? What advice would you tell them to get there?
Man, it's all confidence. So never say never. I mean, 3 years ago, I never saw myself really racing road race bikes. So you never really know where life is going to take you, and everybody's on their own timeline. So just because you're starting late or you think you're a little older or too young, it really doesn't matter. You're an individual and you've got your skills. So just believing in yourself is the most important part. And if you have to say it out loud to yourself, say it out loud to yourself. It really helps. So
it's funny you said that. Before I end this real quick, I used to have conversations with myself in the mirror before every time I sat down to go live on a podcast. I did because I was so nervous. Don't get me wrong. I still get nervous. I still get anxiety, but I guess it was me building up that self-confidence, breaking down that mental barrier within inside my head. Like, you can do this. Absolutely, you got this.
It's crazy,
right? Like,
but it helps.
But so my son's sitting there, he walks by and I'm in there having this deep conversation with myself. And he, when you see the movie where they stop and they just kind of lean back and they look at you like, what's this guy doing right here? Like, this dude's crazy, right? He's like, what are you doing, Dad? I'm like, I'm having a conversation with myself. He's like, why would you have a conversation with yourself? And I was like, I'll explain it to you later. You're too young to understand right now, right? I do the same thing. But listen, enough time. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. And on that note, we are out of here. See you guys. Hang on for me, Sonya. Hang on. Oh, my God.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.